episode. Tonight's episode is a little dangerous in the best way possible. We're starting with a serious thing that might hit a nerve. We're talking about the persona you perform versus the person you actually are. But don't worry, because we're all guilty. I'm guilty, you're guilty, we're all guilty of it. And then we're stepping into the big conversation with the one and only Lexxus, a man who has never met a moment he couldn't command. And for the big feature, well, we got to give flowers, right? So we're giving flowers to the legend who made storytelling a sport. We're going to give our flowers to Professor Nuts. This is the Big and Serious podcast. But first, listen to the Angie Goodaz anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Massive and crew all across the world, introducing Angie Goodaz, the hostess with the mustache, big and serious podcast creator, creator and producer, big energy, big heart, big truth, when it's selector. Good evening, my people. This one is a special dedication to a woman with grace, vision and soul. Angie Goodaz. When Angie speak, the whole room listens. Heart so pure, yeah, the truth she giving, big and serious, loving every session. Healing words, real conversation. Lovers rock, sweet vibration. Podcast flow, pure elevation. From the mic to your heart, no hesitation. Angie Goodaz bring love to the nation. Big and serious, where love gets serious, where truth feel glorious. So turn it up, lean back, feel the emotion. This one you're certified devotion. Angie Goodaz, keep the love in motion. Big and serious, both us, straight from the heart, straight from the heart, straight from the heart, straight from the heart.
Welcome back to the Big and Serious podcast. Not if I'm a rhythm. Where my big rhythm there? Casamigos, where you there? Is it gonna play for me tonight? Oh boy. I guess we're not doing no Casamigos. It's all right. I saw it go. Big up to Wheelie Down Productions for my Casamigos rhythm. I don't know it. Don't want to play it. We're gonna leave it alone. It's all right. So tonight we're talking about performance. You see how my Casamigos didn't want to play? It's all right. We're talking about performance, but before we get into all of that, let me send some big ups, some miniature big ups. So I want to shout out Likkle Wayne, who is in the building, in the audience. Wagwan with the Wagwans. Big up yourself. He has a new tune out. Ahuya Dis Sampalu. Go over to his TikTok page. The tune will make you laugh, and he did actually throw some lyrics on it when he was on the show. So big up yourself for that, sir. Wagwan. Let me just see Wagwan. Yes, big up yourself for that, sir. Thank you for giving me the pre-sample of it, but the actual finished tune is out, so you want to look for that sample disc. Bree Cash, big up yourself. Happy Thursday to you too. I do want to take a moment to say shout out to Roots Rock Reggae Radio Show. That's on CKUT 90.3 FM. These people are like night owls because they do their show Monday morning from 1 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the morning. And the Goodaz steps in every other Monday at 2 o'clock in the morning doing information for the nation. So this Monday, this Monday? Me feel sad this Monday. I think I do the show this Monday. I have to check my schedule. I think I'm there this Monday. So look out for that. I also want to take a moment to shout out TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. You'll see us tomorrow, and Rumble. Wagwan with the Wagwans. All right, now we got that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and actually let TikTok into the building because, them people that them kind of picky a little bit. So them certain things them don't like. So we try to not do the things what don't like, but now we can actually let them in. So make we do that. So TikTok, Wagwan with the Wagwans, welcome, welcome, welcome to the building. And yeah, so as I was saying, we are going to be talking about performance. And not just the kind that happens on a stage, but the kind we all do every single day. The versions of ourselves we put forward, the ones we protect, the ones we're still learning how to hold, the ones we're learning how to let go. And we're doing it with someone who has lived that duality in real time, someone who understands timing, persona, swagger, and the craft of stepping into a moment and just owning it. Just, I mind this, man, take it. But before we get into all of that, before we get into the stories, the lessons, the laughter, trust me, there's going to be laughter because Lexxus is a character. So we're going to start the way that we always do. All right. We're going to start with intention and with gratitude, which means we're stepping into the big up. So we're going to talk about a conglomerate, a major part of the culture, an important part of the culture that is so squiddly. What did I call him? Peter. Oh, a lot. A Peter Metro brother. Likkle Wayne. A Peter. You distract me. Squiddly is it? Oh yeah, say is Squiddly Peter Metro's brother? Is that what you're saying? It's called Where You Try. Where You Are Try. So Likkle Wayne's new tune is a squiddly diss. And I said Squamp Sampaloo. Oh, my apologies. Oh, Lord. It's the Squiddly diss. Squiddly is Peter Metro's brother. Lord, Likkle Wayne. You're ignorant, You know what? I'm going to do things a little unorthodox. I'm going to play my Likkle Wayne dub. I'm going to play my Likkle Wayne dub since he's here.
Yes, Angie Goodaz, you one Nubian princess and you well vert, you was so full of morality, you no come to help us. You are the big bad and mighty podcast, big and serious podcast, with the maddest host, the greatest host, outlandish, Angie Goodaz. Take time with them. Out the road, me say. Out the road. Your thing. Ignorant.
That makes me laugh every time. Yes. Thank you for that dub, Likkle Wayne. I appreciate love it. So yeah, it's a squiddly diss. It's called Where You Are Try. It's on YouTube. And trust me, it's funny. Me and both of them I was just talking. Of course, you know what? Clashing is definitely a part of dance hall, and it's an important part of dance hall. And yeah, it's just talking. We don't take them lyrics too far and overdo it, you see. But anyway, big up yourself, and I'm going to continue on with the big up. So we have to send a massive big up to one of the most powerful forces to ever shape Jamaican music and global culture. And it's so funny because it's reached so far. Like, you'd be surprised how far this conglomerate has reached. But it's the sound systems of the 90s. And we're bigging them up because if you grew up in that era, you already know the dance, it was not just a party. It was a classroom. It was a newsroom, a stage, a battleground, a community center, and a cultural archive, all powered by what? A stack of boxes and a selector with something to say? What? What? It was a classroom. And I said all that. Big up to the giants who defined the decade. And I'm going to just get into some of those giants because, you know what? We have to do the thing proper. So we have to start with the mighty, immortal Stone Love, the institution, the sound that could walk into any dance anywhere in the world and shift the entire temperature of the room. And if you're in Toronto, they're actually going to be at Reggae Cafe this Sunday at it used to be called the Docks, and it was Polson. I don't know what the new name is for it, but they're down there. So run and get your tickets if you're in Toronto to check it. Check out Stone Love. Bodyguard is on the lips because I personally grew up loving Bodyguard, Lynx and Johnny. If you listen to Bodyguard during the Lynx and Johnny era, then you know what me I talk about. But I have to say nothing more. So Bodyguard was the Warriors' precision, presence, and a catalog that could silence any argument. Test me, nah? Test me. Big up Clarendon, massive them. Exodus 4x4, the movement, the energy, the sound that brought a whole different kind of fire to the dance. And of course, we can't talk about sounds without talking about the one that, rest in peace, Garnet Silk was all about, and that's Kilimanjaro. The dubplate legends, the lyrical assassins who shaped the clash culture and crowned legends. And then we have to get into Bass Odyssey, a Bass Odyssey dance. Yo, you ever go to a roadside Bass Odyssey dance? Just know that when the sun is coming up, you're still a dance. You're not ready for go home yet. You're not going home till after the sun get nice and hot and warm. You must go to a street dance in Jamaica. If you haven't, you have to. So Bass Odyssey was the rural powerhouse. And they were the sound that proved that you don't need a Kingston address to dominate the world. Yeah, you don't. Big up the Kingston massive same way. And then we have Afrique, the elegance, the versatility, the sound that could glide from culture to hardcore without losing the crowd. So yes, big up to the others who held their own during that era. They helped to hold the era together as well. I'm just gonna list them: Metro Media, Black Cat, Renaissance. I love a Renaissance, not lie. Silverhawk, Travelers, Jamrock, Inner City. These are the sounds that made the 90s feel like a living, breathing universe. And why? I feel sorry for you if you never did grow in the 90s. Or if you did grow in the 90s and you weren't allowed to reach a dance. Well, I feel sorry for you. Let me get a sad trombone. But anyway, listen, you cannot talk about the 90s sound system culture without honoring the technicians, okay? These are the men who reached the venue before anyone else, all right? The men who lifted every box, ran every cable, tuned every horn. The men who made sure the bass didn't just play, it passed through your chest. Big up to the string up crew as well, the boxmen, the wiremen, the engineers, the men with the Allen keys, the voltage meters, and the black electrical tape, and the sixth sense for when a tweeter was about to pop. Because if your highs don't sound good, that would be your tweeters. They're just as important as your bass. So these people were the first to reach and the last to leave the dance every single time. And without them, there was no dance. So today we honor the selectors, the MCs, the crews, the dancers, the loyal followers, and the technicians who made the whole thing possible. Big up to the sound systems of the 90s, the foundation, the blueprint. You know what? They were the heartbeat of a generation. All right, energy's been set. The big up has been delivered. The culture has been honored. And now let's keep it moving. Because as much as we celebrate the sounds, the stories, and the people who shaped us, there are moments where we have to slow down and look inward. Hold on. My guest is messaging me. Hold on. Sorry, people. Let me just message him quickly. All right. Him, I look for the link, people. Him, I look for the link. Hey. All right. So let's keep it moving, because as much as we celebrate the sounds, the stories, and the people who shaped us, and share the moments where we have to slow it down and look inward. Okay. Moments where the laughter and the vibes made space for something a little deeper, a little bit more honest, and a little bit more reflective. So we're going to take a breath together, and we're going to step into this week's serious thing. All right. So up next, we do have the big conversation. So let's get through the serious thing. I want to take a moment to talk about something that's been sitting with me for a while. We talk a lot about performance in dancehall. We talk about the characters, the confidence, the entrances, the talk. But the truth is the performance isn't just for artists. Every single one of us is performing something somewhere for someone. There's a version of you that shows up at work, the version of you that shows up with family, the version of you that shows up online, and there's a version of you that only comes out when the door is closed and the lights are off. And sometimes those versions don't match. Sometimes they don't even recognize each other. You're like, we know how it is. Well, we don't talk about that enough. The gap between who we actually are, who we feel we need to be, and who society thinks we should be. The pressure is there to hold it all together. The pressure is there to be on. The pressure to be the strong one, or the funny one, or the reliable one, or the one who never cracks. You have that friend, you're like, boy, Angie just always strong, Angie she always strong. Well, the wild thing is, most of the time, nobody even asks us to do the performance. We just pick it up. We build it. We polish it. We carry it because it feels safer or easier or it feels expected. But here's the part I want us to sit with tonight. Behind every performance, whether it's on a stage, in a meeting, in a relationship, or in your own kitchen, there's a human being who's trying to figure it out. A human being who's trying to be enough, who's trying to be understood, who's trying to be loved. And sometimes the performance gets so loud that the person underneath it starts to disappear. So now in dancehall, we actually see this play out in real time. There's the bravado, the characters, the storytelling. It's all a part of the culture. It's all a part of the art, but it's also a part of the survival. Shout out to TikTok, Wagwan. Thank you for the likes. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Even the biggest personalities, the sharpest talkers, and the most confident performers are carrying real life behind the scenes. They got real pressures. They've got real expectations. They've got real contradictions. And that's why today's conversation matters. I might have to run a tune because the man we're about to bring into the studio just voice noted me. So you know what? I'm going to attend to that. I'm going to run a tune. Let me run a tune quickly. Just to see Wagwan, because give me a second, people. Give me a second. Sorry about that, people. Give me 1 second. Let me do this. Let me just see what my guest has to say. I'm going to run slow-mo by Lexxus, and then we'll be back.
Lexxus. She said cool and deadly when me know about that. Catch up on the phone and give me the tough chat. So she push it down and so me push it up back. Girl I whining slow mo yo whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go. You know she out fi go pro. Just slow mo yo whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go, but she waist it a yo-yo. Oh, she a boy slow it like she not move. Mama lock me down, it's like me can't move. Big one thing, I move. Got the wine you have me at the right groove. Bubble up in the place. DJ, bum clad, yellow wine, them waist and I make up fix. Tell the waitress fi make it scar. Be at the Lambo, backer. Be at the Lambo, be at the mother. Dog up, I get them late. When my friend them the chief, I take a lot jump up in the wine, you know. Slow, mo, yo, whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go. You know she out fi go pro. Just slow, mo, yo, whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go, but she waist it a yo-yo. Oh, it's just a whining thing. Wine in the winter, wine in the spring. Hey. This up my body you a bring, and then I falling off in. Hear me, Kim. I know what me a fling. Them only a bling, them don't worth a thing. Top in the middle, show you whining thing. Show them how you make the boy head spin. Hold up. She said cool and deadly when me know about that. Catch up on the phone and give me be a tough chat. So she push it down and so me push it up back. Girl a whine, you know. Slow, mo, yo, whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go. You know she out fi go pro. Just slow, mo, yo, whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go, but she waist it a yo-yo. Oh.
Yes, Slow Mo. That's Lexxus's new track. And you know what? Since we're here and we're waiting, let me continue on. Hopefully he's good now, and we'll see him in the studio in a few moments. So, you know, Lexxus knows performance, he knows persona, and he knows how to step into a moment and make it his. But he's also a man who has lived a full life behind all of that, a life with layers, with lessons, with things he's had to navigate that don't always make it into the music. So before we bring him in, I want you to think about your own masks. The ones you have to put on without even realizing it. The ones you outgrew but you still wear them. The ones that protect you, and the ones that cost you. Oh, we all have those masks that we wear them, and boy, it's expensive. And sometimes we don't even want to pay those prices, right? So I just lost my spot. Yeah, the ones that cost you. I'm so sorry, people. Where do they meet? So where do these masks meet? You know, where do they separate? You know, where does your mask come off and you, the person, come in? And what would it look like to let the persona and the person breathe in the same room? This is the serious thing. And while we're here, I'm going to ask you to
like and subscribe.
All right. So we are going to hold that for a moment. We're going to give Lexxus time to situate himself and get into the building. And the thing about a serious ting is that it opens up the room. So when you hear a serious ting on the Big and Serious podcast, just know that it's holding the vibe. It's making the space for the honesty, the kind that doesn't always show up when the lights are on and the energy is loud. And that's exactly the space we're going to step into next. But as we wait for him to make it to the studio, we are going to run another tune by him. This one is a very... So I'll let it speak for itself.
Yo, so man, can go on talk. I look a maga boy, I come down the millennium. Make a try girl in a day, but she want to eat me starter. When she have the nerve, say, come check me back. She crack. Anytime me tell a girl, say back. Skirt, blouse, shoes, rap, clap. So me have a girl at TikTok. Grandma come in and come catch me, she shot. She can't believe her heart and pick me that. Hey, better than that. To the girl, see me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring off me silly. One bag of girl walk and rub down me belly. Anthony, Kelly, Susie, Shelly. Give me on the radio, send me on the telly. Ring, 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 ring off me silly. Yes, which girl walk and rub down me belly. Anthony, Kelly, Susie, Shelly. Sunday she had the girl to pay me phone bill. Tracy and Nash she light up make whole skill. The one when she live right pay dine on the pill. Me and me baby mother left but me slam still. To me vex me mother said that me no easy. She kinda vex because her best friend please me. Right I know all the boss wife a tease me. You want fishy when she a squeeze us through them gone. Give me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring up me silly. One bag of girl want me DJ Hakapelli. Antoinette Shelly, hey Akeem. Give me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring, 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 ring off me silly. One bag of them want corrupt down me belly. Hey, me not all the business. Let me go so. If you check that I tell girl me tell you about. I mean not tell you about Michelle well live down a south. Punchinella she love you spit your mouth. Me never know so you so Angela broke out. You know long lady star want screw me. Queen Paula hammer krill want do me. All the Japanese girl when me and you me. Say if me don't stop a friend she a go. Give me on the radio, see me on the telly. Bring off me silly. One bag of girl want me DJ Hakapelli. Kelly, Susie, Shelly. See me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring a me silly. One bag of girl want me DJ Hakapelli. Hey, me not all the business. She get a girl in a day hop, but she want to take me start up. Then she have the nerve say, "Walk come check me back." Shake up. Anytime me tell a girl pop, shirt, shoes, dress, rock, clap. So me have a girl at TikTok. Grandma come in and come catch me, she shocked. She can't believe her hard and pick me that. Hey, from top. Just so the girl hear me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring off me silly. One bag of them want me DJ Hakapelli. Anthony, Shelly, Susie, Kelly. Give me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring, 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 ring off me silly. One bag of girl walk and rub down me belly. I'm not at the business. Then they go so. Sunday she had the girl pay me phone bill. Tracy and Nash she light up make whole skill. The one when she live right behind on the hill. Me and me baby mother left but we slam still. Two of me vex me mother said that me not easy. She kinda vex because her best friend please me. Right I know all the boss wife a tease me. You pass when she a squeeze me. Just so she hear me on the radio, see me on the telly. Ring, 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 ring off me silly. One bag of girl want me DJ Hakapelli.
All right, we're also going to get into Pennywee. Sorry. Pennywee was, I used to love this track. So I'm going to run it for you. Let's go. Pennywee by Lexxus.
Leave me alone. Yes, I. Take your mind off away. We have got bikini. We have got bikini. So take your mind off away. We have got bikini. Then take your mind off away. Take your mind off away. Come. We a penny them a penny way. But we not penny them cause penny them a enemy. We no want no enemy, ya come a friend me. So me put a enemy, put a friend me. No, we a penny them a penny way. But we not penny them cause penny them a enemy. We no want no enemy, ya come a friend me. So we put a enemy, put a friend me. No. Enough of them are just throwaway, boss make them a rich. Them would have want parade with friend never rich. But make we broke tomorrow, you say you quick them switch. That's what me know said enough of them are. Them man go want a room right now to be a perfect witch. I know we beat but I'm on a station go snitch. A good thing with my old lieutenant Mitch. Take him back that up and tag that up and put that in a ditch. We a penny them a penny way. We not penny them cause penny them a enemy. We no want no enemy, you come a friend me. So we put a enemy, put a friend me. No, we a penny them a penny way. But we not penny them cause penny them a enemy. We no want no enemy, you come a friend me. So we put a enemy, put a friend me. No, walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Fear no evil, no good boy, and not be fret. Cause anything you want in the world you can get. All you have to do is put your mind up to it and work hard for your money. That mean your boss as well. So from the boss as well, that mean you check your work collect. The Lord help pet them move, help pet themselves. Enough you that live like battle and shelf. We a penny them a penny way. But we not penny them cause penny them a enemy. We no want no enemy, you come a friend me. So we put a enemy, put a friend me. No, we a penny them a penny way. But we not penny them cause penny them a enemy. And we no want no enemy, you come a friend me. So we put a enemy, put a friend me. No, things don't go the way you want it to free. But where there is hope, there is life, I see. I do unto others as they do unto me. So I suggest you do the same in your community. And don't grudge nobody cause them a bit. I don't know how the hell them get it. Hallelujah, pray Thomas, I got to make you make it. Just make you reach to the gate before them lock it. I want you to Caesar must get it. Watch out of you, then nobody can get it. Watch out of me, well nobody can get it. Try nobody set it, cause them a fit. We a penny, them a penny, them a penny me. But we no friendly, them cause friendly, them a enemy. We no want no enemy, you come a friendly me. So we put no enemy, put no friendly me. No! We a penny, them a penny, them a penny me. But we no friendly, them cause friendly, them a enemy. We no want no enemy, you come a friendly me. So we put no enemy, put no friendly me. No! Enough of them a just throw away, but make them a eat. Them would no want parade way forever. Look we broke tomorrow, you say how quick them. That's how we know the faster them are. Them a go want a broom right now to be a perfect way. I know 3 weeks, but I'm gonna station go. A good thing we buy your lieutenant. Make him back that up and tell that up and tell that thing. Yo, we a penny, them a penny, them a penny we. But we not friendly, them got friendly, them a enemy. And we no want no enemy, you come a friendly me. So we put no enemy, and put a friendly me. No, we a penny, them a penny, them a penny we. We not friendly, them got friendly, them a enemy. We no want no enemy, you come a friendly me. Put no enemy, you put a friendly me. No, penny them.
All right, we're gonna run. We're just going through. We're trying to get the link to Lexxus. So let's run another one. Why? It's like the system don't want to Lego my link. All right, so we're gonna run. Let those monkeys out. Let my link out. All right, let's go. We're gonna go ahead and we'll do our big feature while we wait for Lexxus. He got the link, so we're just gonna wait for him to get situated. Oh wait, sending a message. Hold on, Lord. Oh boy, we're gonna maintain the composure. I might have to run another tune, people. I think. hold on. You know what? Let's run the next tune. Okay, give me a sec, people. I'm going to find another tune. Who can we play? I'm drawing a blank. One sec. You know what? I haven't played a Scare Them Crew tune. Let's find a Scare Them Crew tune and run that. Oops. As yeah, I have to listen to this voice note. I'm so sorry, people. This is what happens when you're live, and things just happen. What are you gonna do? All right, here is many. No, here is Girls Every Day by Scare Them Crew. I'm gonna just listen to this voice notes and be back.
Watch this. We call it like that. We have a girl for Friday. You're not busy. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. Tell them I did kill them. Wait for me thing. We are it like that. We have a girl for Friday. You're not busy. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. Tell them I did kill them. Wait for me thing. Girl from all out come done me down. Me see girl from Miami and New York come. Girl from Jamaica war rub me down. Them a run me down inna the hot sun. Them see me car and them see the bike a come. Them now be off. A few girl a run me down. Girl from Brooklyn and girl from Jamaica. Them a come. Tell me go sing. We got it like that. We have a girl from Friday. You're not busy. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. Let me go tell them I did scare them. Wait so me sing. We got it like that. We have a girl from Friday. You're not busy. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. Let me go tell them I did scare them. Wait so me sing. Up girl me up because of your girl want me. The journey out the road she no stop from want me. The mind the hate and the gonna ride against me. But me gotta be robust protect me. Let me go sing me not it over no girl cause me have me ganja. But me left let me drop the Sandra. No girl me stamp and scare them veranda. Ask me friend a return that's how me think then. That's how we do it. We have a girl for Friday. And that is it. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. Let me go tell them I did scare them. It's a punk. That's how we do it. We have a girl for Friday. And that is it. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. Let me go tell them I did scare them. It's a punk. We have to tell them all but in a he's a west. Can I pop up me like and I pop up me best. When it come to loving, tear them a the best. So we put girl to rest for me king girl. Me got girl in a north and girl in a south. When it come to girl, this is scare them run out. When they hear a girl a scream and a girl a fall out, scare them through them out. So me sing girl. We got it like that. We have a girl for Friday. And this is we have a different girl every day. Yeah. Let me go tell them a demon for shop. Wait for me sing. We got it like that. We have a girl for Friday. And this is we have a different girl every day. Yeah. Let me go tell them a the tear down. Wait for me. Girl from all road, me see them a run me down. Girl from Miami and New York a come. Jamaica girl them a run me down. Them a run me down inna the action. Them see the door and them see the bike a come. You know the horse, a beer girl a run me down. Girl from Brooklyn and girl from Jamaica. Them a come. Because he them. That's how we do it. We have a girl from Friday. You're not busy. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. You go tell them at the New York way. That's how we do it. We have a girl from Friday. You're not busy. We have a different girl every day. Yeah. You go tell them at the scare them way for me sing. Tough girl me up because of your girl want me. Run me out the road, she no stop from want me. Say mind the ears and the gonna ride against me. But me gonna be robbers protect me. You go see me not it over no girl can me have me ganja. If the rat is left, me go drop the Sandra. Tough girl get slapped from and stab a ronda. Ask me friend a return.
All right. So that was Girls Every Day by Scare Them Crew. We're just sorting out the link situation with Lexxus. So I gave him another option. So let's I'm so sorry, people. We're gonna run another tune, okay? We're gonna do many, many. Yo, this tune. many, 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 many. All right, people, enjoy. We'll be back.
How many girls do we get when we ready? Many, 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 many. How many girls do they get when they ready? Many, 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 many. Which one of these girls was steer them slow? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, you both just got to believe this. Girls need to steer them slow from me thinking. Ready or not, you're tempted to higher. The place up there higher. I go red higher. Then the lucky sweet. She blow like a swagger. I will pack the big girl higher. Ladies like them test, no stress. Girls popping off, steer them fast. Capture bunting like intelligent nest and put the hit back to rest. Come in thinking, how many girls do we get when we're ready? Many, 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 many. How many girls do them get when they're ready? Many, 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 many. Which one of these girls was steer them slow? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, you both just got to believe this. Girls need to steer them slow. With a cut prostitute, the cold and invented. She go within my neck, I'm playing with my chest. I will have to come to the rest. Well, then, first year, the night to get satisfaction. I've been dead by witness the Tony Braxton. I got the action and the emotion. Hear them brand new songs on me thinking. How many girls do we get when we're ready? Many, 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 many. How many girls do them get when they're ready? Many, 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 many. Which one of these girls must hear them flow? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, you both just got to believe this. Girls need to hear them flow. Come and get a crew, so we could rendezvous. Downtown, me and the third crew. Smoking blood, drinking champagne too. Or it had what you gonna do. So me sing, come ladies, let's go find the beach. They have lots of fun, the friends can reach. In the boat, find the hurry, I make the beach. Well, they got lots of seats. Come in thinking, how many girls do we get when we're ready? Many, 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 many. How many girls do them get when they're ready? Many, 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 many. Which one of these girls must hear them flow? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, you both just got to believe this. Girls need to hear them flow. Me thinking, whether you're not hear them, they got higher. So blaze up their fire. Higher and higher. Love it sweet as you blow like a tiger. Or it had the big girls higher. I speak to them when ladies like them test. No stress. Girls popping up, steer them fast. Capture bunting like intelligentness and put we hit back to rest. Hear them go, how many girls do we get when we're ready? Many girls do we get when we're ready? Many, 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 many. How many girls do they get when they're ready? Many, 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 many. Which one of these girls must steer them slow? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, you both just got to believe this. Girls need to steer them slow from me thinking. Ready or not, you're tempted to higher. The place up there higher. I go red higher. Then the lucky sweet. She blow like a swagger. I will pack the big girl higher. Ladies like them test. No stress. Girls popping off here. They have to bunting like intelligent nest and put the hit back to rest. Come in thinking. How many girls do we get when we're ready?
All right, people. I see my guest. He is here. So shout out to all of you for your patience. I appreciate love it. You don't know. So it go when we do things live, right? We just work with it. Oh, he ran away. Okay, we'll wait for him to come back. I'm going to get myself situated. So just to refresh your memory a little bit. So we were talking about, the person versus the persona and what that's all like, and, carrying all of those different masks and all of those different elements with us every single day. And just how that works for us as people as we perform in our real lives. So it's not just performers that have the persona that's out there that's leading the path for them. We also have them as everyday people. I wear masks, you wear masks, we all wear masks, and we all have a persona, or many, depending on who we're with, depending on what we're trying to do, that we show the world. So I'm ask my guests, give me a thumbs up if you are good to go. Yes, I got double thumbs up. All right. So let me just get to the proper screen. I am so excited. People, I'm so excited. Not going to lie, I legit have knots in my stomach right now. Not lie. I'm being so honest and so for real. Let me take off the mask for a minute. Is it me? All right. So let's step into the big conversation. This week, we're exploring the split between the persona you build. Hold on, let me go back to my proper spot. Yes, sorry. This week, we're exploring the split between the persona you build and the person you actually are. The character the world thinks they know and the human being who has to carry it. And today, we're sitting with someone who has lived that dance in full view of the culture. A man whose name arrives with presence. You don't know, Kingston to the world. A man who has helped define an era of dancehall and somehow still moves like he's in his prime. And listen, I found out something that makes me so happy. He's a Taurus. I'm a Taurus, so I already know this conversation might get a little stubborn. It might get a little stylish and a little too honest for comfort in the very best way. And because behind the performer who could command any stage, any rhythm, any moment, there's a man with lineage, grounding, and stories that deserve their own spotlight. A man who has built a persona the world can't ignore and still had to wake up the next morning as himself. So today we're going to honor both. He's waiting in the green room, the person who shaped the persona, the man behind the mischief. Yo, he's very mischievous, people. The mastery and the moment. Lexxus is in the studio, and I'm about to bring him on camera.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There you go.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much,
First of all, let me apologize for being late. I was on the road and I thought I would be able to finish what I'm doing in time, but I just finished. I'm so sorry. So
it's all good. You know what? I accept the apology. I'm just honored that you came, because some people would have been like, cha, and especially with, the link issues and stuff, they'd be like, yo, McCann, but I know, find me next time.
I legit was at a restaurant eating and I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this. So I had to cut the food, pay the check, and rush home.
Hold on, let me ask you, because I'm a foodie and I know Taurus people love food. So what kind of food kept you away, Lexxus? Big and serious.
First of all, I'm the one Taurus that is not a foodie. I have no favorite food. I have nothing. I just eat to live. I'm the worst. Like, I've had a relationship that got ruined because I don't know. But I was having a steamed fish.
Okay.
And I'm really not big on seafood, but I felt for a steamed fish at the time. So I was just.
I get it. Did you have it with the water crackers and thing? I'm allergic to fish, so I just have to watch.
There was some okra and there was some carrots and some other vegetables and stuff.
Okay.
I couldn't get it finished though, because I remember I had to do this with you and I just packed it up and rushed home.
Well, thank you for remembering, Lod. I appreciate it. So before we get into anything deep, your birthday is coming up in May. And as a fellow Taurus, now I don't know, because now you're kind of shaky on the food thing. So I'm going to know, but I know that the Tauruses I know take birthdays very seriously. Um,
Are you an April Taurus or you're a May Taurus?
I'm a May Taurus. Your birthday's 5 days before mine.
Oh, okay, all right.
This sounds like you don't take birthdays seriously either.
I stopped counting from I was like 26.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna be I'm not sure. I think I'm maybe gonna be 52 soon. I would have to check. But like I said, I stopped checking from I was 26.
But you know what? To be honest, I watched an interview with Prince, and he said you need to stop counting your
I
birthdays.
totally agree with him. You only have one birthday, and then
Yes.
the rest of the year it's your day.
Yes, it's just your
That's
day.
why I always tell people, happy your day.
I like
Happy
that.
your day.
Happy your day. I like that.
Yeah,
I take a whole month to celebrate my day.
I'm gonna make a song about that.
Yeah, you need to put my name in there, eh?
I will.
Okay, big up. Thank you. So I guess you haven't thought about what you're doing for your day or anything like that.
do this. No, you can't. No, don't kiss it.
Oh,
No.
you have a dog?
You can't kiss me right now. You can't do that right now, Romy. I'm on an interview. No, you can't. Oh my God. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I have a dog too, and I get it. I understand.
Oh, she's so spoiled.
What's her name?
Romy.
Romy.
She's so spoiled.
Romy, behave. That's so cute. Oh my goodness. All right. So this week, Lexxus, we're talking about the versions of ourselves we show the world versus the ones we keep for the people who really know us. So
Okay.
when you think of your own journey, how have you learned to navigate that line between the persona versus the person?
You know what? It's Romy, stop. Yo, chill. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You can just hold her on your lap. She wants to be on your lap. It's all good. I have a dog too, so I get it. I get it. Mine's gonna come cuss me just now, so it's okay.
Romy, chill. Yo, Romy, come on. Daddy's busy right now. Yo. Anyway, so yeah, it's like being in this business so long. First of all, I didn't know that I was gonna be I don't know what I was gonna be, but I did know I was somebody though. If I'm a liquor, I always feel like me somebody. And like while my friends were during growing up, my friends were experimenting with weed and all kind of different stuff. Those things never fascinate me. I was more interested in learning how to sign autograph and thank you messages, and I always thought I was gonna win a Grammy. And I don't know, it was kind of, but my whole life was like a movie for real, lifetime movie for real.
Oh, wow. You probably need to put that into the works, huh?
But I learned to separate Christopher from Lexxus when it's necessary.
I get it.
And that's only when it's necessary, because sometimes you have to be Christopher and sometimes you have to be Lexxus.
Yeah.
But I learned, I figured out how to separate them, and I figured out that's only when it's necessary I do that.
Because I guess it's easier, right? I'm learning that with Angie Goodaz versus Angela, right? It's like I used to struggle with it, right? So you're like, I think I'm being Goodaz right now.
Some people only deserve Lexxus.
Ooh.
Not everybody deserves Christopher.
So how do you know when someone deserves Christopher versus when someone deserves Lexxus?
You could tell. It's a. I'm more spiritual than religious. So for me, it's a spiritual thing.
I get it.
And it all starts with the spirit and the feelings that I get when you come around, and it's a spiritual thing. You never hear your mother say, my spirit take my person.
You know much friend my mother this because our spirit can't take them, and how much man my mother say, yo, that's where that boy did.
And should, because you know what, you should always follow your spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you should always follow your spirit for real.
Absolutely. Have you ever on that vein, like, have you ever had a moment where you should have followed your spirit, and you're like, damn, Chris, man, like where you did that for?
A lot of times. And you know, life is weird, and sometimes some people just come into your life at that moment, and because we like them, and because they're cool, and because we think they're cool, and because we think they're nice, we allow them to be in our space longer than they really should. You know what I'm saying? And it's when shit hit the fan, that's when you're like, oh man, damn.
Yeah.
You know, but it's good when you could pick up that from early. You know what I'm saying? It's good when you pick it up early.
Yeah, it's a gift. I'm learning, like, yo, it's a gift when somebody shows you who they are, yo.
Yeah.
You have to just be like, thank you.
They usually do, you know, and oftentimes we ignore the red flags. Oftentimes. They usually do. Like, they usually send their representation of them, and then we just, I don't know, maybe physiques or for whatever reason, we ignore the red flags.
Yeah, the physique will trick us. I know the physique used to trick me wholly. He has muscles. Oh God, there's a problem. You know, Bree Cash says 100%, 100%. In music, you know, has Lexxus ever had a time when, you know, maybe he did a collab with someone or something, and his spirit was like, this is kind of shaky, and then in the back end, you're like, shouldn't have done that.
No, no, not as far as recording. Not as far as recording, but as far as friendship, you know, like a lot of people came into my life, and I just open up and accept them, and a lot of them screw me over.
Wow.
A lot of them.
Do you think it's because you're in the limelight?
No, because you know what? A lot of people just see you for what they can get from you, or for what they can earn from you, or whatever value you are to them. And as soon as they get that, you know, they don't care about anything else. Like they just see you for what benefits them. And oftentimes, you know, I don't know if it's a Taurus thing, but with me, I love people.
Me too.
And you know, I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
But you know, I kind of figure out how the universe work, and so if I do something for you, I just do it because I'm capable of doing it, because I can. I don't do it with any expectations behind it.
Yep.
With none, because more than half the time when I get a gift, it's always from somebody I don't know. It's never from somebody I've done something for, or somebody I've given anything. I've given them anything. So, you know, I think that's just how the universe works. So if you could do something for somebody, just do it because you can, not because you want something in return or with any expectations behind it. And that's how I live my life. So I guess you know, that's what keeps me young. That's what, you know, my old ass still looking like I'm 25, 26.
I know. You look the same. I was looking at, like, I was going through the, you know, the catalog of your pictures, and I was like, this man still looks the same. Sometimes the hair is long, sometimes the hair is short, but otherwise he still looks the same.
And thank you. Thank you.
So big up yourself for that, you know? And yeah, as Tauruses, like, it's so, man, I've given away my rent money to help people, hoping I would at least get half of it back. And you don't get none, you get a screw face instead. So, you know, it's so
but
true.
Then, out of the universe, somebody just pop up and fix things for you, and you be like, wow.
Yep.
And that happens to me so many times. But you know what? Like I said, I just do things because I can. And I don't value, like, unlike 95% of my peers, I don't value luxury. I don't value none of those stuff. I don't value cars. I'm not a car guy. As long as I can push in the key and it starts and we'll move, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? What I value is how people treat me. I value my friendship. I value my family. I value my kids. Those are the things I value. You know what I'm saying? Like, mansions and those things doesn't mean anything. I've always had this saying, and people laugh. You know, I've never felt the need to have a yacht or a jet, but I want friends who own them.
Yeah. Oh, you mean?
But I
Yes.
want
Put me on your jet, you know?
I want
Yes.
to own them, but I'm not about like I'm not one of those guys who be like, yo, I have to drive. And I've driven Benz, I've driven Lexus, I've driven all the luxury cars. I've
Mhm.
owned all the luxury cars, but I don't value those things. I value, just the other day, and this is like about a month ago, and I had posted on my Instagram. I don't know if you're familiar with the artist named Zoom J, a young artist.
Some J. No.
Um,
I'm gonna have to look him up.
he posted this song that I recorded with him, which I remembered nothing about, absolutely nothing about, and I was like, damn. And he was like, yo, DJ, when I had a man, when you had the biggest thing in the country, you recorded a song with me when I was nobody. And it's stuff like that that I value. It is
Yeah.
stuff like that that makes me go, damn, and that made my day because I never did it because he was somebody. I just did it because he's a youth and he need that strength. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give him a strength because I
And
was
he
the
gave
man
me
at the
strength.
time and I was able to give him a strength at the time, and that's all it was.
Wow.
So for like 26 years after, and it might remind me because I don't even remember that. And there's a whole heap of youth make it strength them where they were.
Wow.
But just know say I made the man know. So if my name up on the song with them will get people that go look on them. You know what I say?
Yeah.
Um, I was one of the artists who break down the whole gatekeeping thing of the 90s
Mm-hmm.
because prior to me, boss, them they were like just two main artists where them
Mm-hmm.
held on to
Held on to everything.
their life and for everything, and you either had to go through them
Mm-hmm.
or you don't go through at all. And I was one of the artists who come broke down that in 1999 because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, what if we can at one time? Why only one artist? But all right, if you do do your homework, then me bus 1999,
Mm-hmm.
and before me, a one person bus Zebra 1998, and before
Yeah.
Zebra bus, a one person bus
You know what?
Vegas,
That's right. Yeah.
and before that it was like Red Rat and Red Rat bringing Goofy, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just them used to just like a one artist at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the artists will come be like, yo, no. So when you see me in 2000 and you see like 20 or 19 people behind me, my entourage was consist of mostly artists, like just mostly artists, mostly young artists. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
a youth named Madanjo, a youth
I
named
remember Mad Andrew.
a youth named Danny English,
Yeah.
Kip Rich,
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
a whole heap of youth, like a whole heap. My entourage is just full of artists.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just my thing, like you know. If I'm on, I'm gonna try to put on as much people as I can, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I never care about the superior thing or me to be the done or all of that. I just do it because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I said some people never too like that still, but I got a lot of backlash
From what? Just from powering with artists?
because the gatekeepers prior to me, them never like that. Them never like
Oh,
open up
okay.
everything and make it on a broad prospect for everybody.
Yeah.
So they didn't
Yeah.
like that. 'Cause they wanted to hold on to power for like
Yeah.
forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah,
Can't do
no.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is one of them. So, you know what? I won't even, I'm not into the mix up thing, but it's okay. You know what? Allow it. I'm going to allow it. I have a feeling I know who you're talking about anyway. I'll just say that. But so what do you think caused you to bust through that gate back in
Um,
99?
because I was different. Um, I had a charisma that was just different. People loved me because I am a humble guy. I am a funny guy, and
Yeah.
just it's just the way I approach things, and I think I came different because a lot of things like I wanted like before my boss, me used to a lot of the artists them do them interview, and I used to cringe
Mm.
because I'm like, yo, some of them not answer the question where the interviewer asks them stray from the question them answer, and it was just like, oh. And
Yeah.
because of this, society had this stigma that I'd be a done setting up to dance hall and and I wanted to change that,
Yeah.
which is why I spoke properly and pronounce my words properly and answer the damn questions that the interview asked. You know what I mean? I said
Yeah.
in a reputable way. And
Yeah.
because of this, some people start saying, "I'm going like me a foreign artist," or "I'm going like we're brighter than this," or and it wasn't even about that. It was just about proving to society that some of us did well academically in school. Not
That's right.
everybody's done big and done. You know what I say? Some of us
Yeah.
did actually do work at school. You know what I say? And so
Mhm.
I had set out to change that, and with other things that I had set out to change. Like as soon as I get on, I was like, I'm gonna change this if I get on, and
Mhm.
that too was performance. For me, my favorite part of my job is performing, and I like I like the setup. I like the backdrops. I like the stage settings. I like
Mhm.
the lights. I like if you do if you check back, I was one of the first artists where I sent for pyro people from foreign for blow up my stage. I like
Mhm.
whenever them pay me my money, I use like half of it and send for people from foreign blow up my stage. I had a, I had a, I had um, a choreographed dance group behind me,
Yeah.
injected embedded in my performance, and I never sing a dance song. But
Yeah.
those are things were necessary. You know what I say? And even today, one of the biggest choreographer, Latanya style,
Yeah.
if you ask her, she would be like, "Yo, Lexxus, may have them on tour when they were young,
Wow.
all over the world with me." And I never sing a dance song, but it was just I wanted to enhance the performance, and that's what they do. Dancers do that, and so I was one of the so through that now, I like me say a lot of the people then before me never to like that.
Into that, they didn't care about that. But do you think that consideration of your stage presence, not even just your presence, but the whole package of the stage comes from like you're a drama student. You were a drama student. I
Yeah,
was a drama student too, so I
tell that
get
time.
it,
I,
but do you think it comes from that element?
it comes from me watching Michael Jackson and all of them big stars. Like me used to amazed of them performances. I was like when I watched them, I was like, yo, that's what I want my stage to be like,
Love
and
it.
that's where it comes from because I've always like the big American star them, the way all them transition from one thing to another,
Mm,
and the different outfits and
mhm.
I say all of that. So I was
Yes.
amazed by that. I was fascinated by that, and I always felt like if I get the chance, that's where I'm gonna bring our music to. You know what I'm saying? But
I get
again,
it.
a lot of people weren't ready for that yet. I guess I
I get
was
it.
way ahead of my time.
Very misunderstood,
Very misunderstood for real.
you know. Um, do you do you think that being misunderstood like that, like you were misunderstood, but you still carried that swagger, you still carried that confidence, you still carried that, the performance, your songs, for me, like listening to your songs back then, I felt like I was listening to a friend having a conversation, right? Um, do you think being misunderstood made you more aware of those elements of yourself and make you want to hone it more, or was it just this is who I am, this is what I'm
Now,
doing, and that's it?
being misunderstood, it made me angry. It
Ooh,
made me depressed. It made me,
really?
um, just always. It made me defensive. And like there were times when I was like, man, fuck this. Like, yo, fuck this. But
Hmm.
there's always that little fire in me that never went out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy when people misunderstand and understand you for what I'm saying, and you can't do nothing about it because
Because no matter how you
because
try to go on. It's okay.
they're influenced by people who are very influential who just never see because for a long time the two DJ them were them put to the forefront of our music.
Hmm.
Neither of them had had the best interest of the music. Neither of them.
You think so?
I know so. I lived it.
Mm, yeah.
One of them, one of them, theme best interest is for have 15 man behind him, be any sip on the table and feel music I play all night. The other one, till this day the world away from him for bust a artist. Him not even business with nobody. Him just all about him and him turn every conversation about him and him turn everything into him. Everything is just him and him. And those were the two people we had at the forefront of our music for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And so people like, yo, Jack, we don't have the music now gonna because the people them all put at the forefront, then you know what I'm saying? While there were people who were doing well,
Yeah.
like Shaggy, Sean Paul, who actually did numbers and who actually are really the top man. Because them man, they are really the top man where
Yes.
everybody, push one side, push to the side, like, you know what I'm saying? And idolize these other people who just not about the music, you know what I'm saying? And not doing numbers and not doing the same thing. And it was just, so when time a youth like me, will come and say certain things and talk certain things, so it's like, oh, and everybody don't watch out now and like, oh, okay, so. But
But it's funny because as a consumer, right? Loving the Shaggy, loving Sean Paul, it was almost like people would say to you, well, that's watered down reggae or that's pop reggae. That's not real reggae. And it's like, but they were the ones that really made it international.
Those are the ones who were doing
aside from
numbers.
Shabba, right?
And Shabba Ranks and those are the people who are doing the numbers, so those are the people we should have at least all the time at the forefront of our music. But instead, my culture is kind of weird still. I know I don't know, I don't know, we tends to like the things that are bad for us. I don't know why. For real.
So true.
I don't know why. I just try to make it make sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it make sense, but I can't.
It doesn't.
For real.
So true. Listening to you talk about like the lessons and even the depression, like how did you shift yourself out of that, like that mindset and those thoughts?
You know what? God have this little way to nudge you sometime when you go off course. You know what I'm saying? When you go off course, God have this little way for us nudge you, and then and it comes in the form of maybe someone would just out of the blues just see you and be like, yo, you're good. Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or it comes in the form that I would say I'm fortunate as an artist to have garnered a catalog of songs, some of which got embedded in our culture. And till this day, still have, still playing at the dance until this day. And so, like even now that I'm on tour, I'm still a tour upon Woman You Better Can Cook.
Right.
Telly. Just them song there, which are all of them is more than 20-year old.
Yeah. Let me ask you something before you go any further. That star tack that you posted in your story last week, is that the one that you had back then, or is this like, were you like, let me draw for a next star tack, like?
No, the girl, the thief, that one there.
So she really did teeth it.
But I had managed to get back some of them because I use it for my stage, for props for my stage performance. Yeah. And I still have a star tack right now.
I know, I saw it in the video.
I still whenever I perform, I was like, you guys know this? Because if you don't know this, you're too young for the party.
Come on. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, sorry. So I cut you off. So how did you shift out of the depression? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, like I say, it's those things that remind me. It was just like I'd go to a party and I would just hear 3-4 of my song them. Some of them way 20-year-old songs. And when I look on the crowd and see how the crowd still react and see how the girls them still react, I'm like,
still working out.
It put a smile on my face, and I'm like, damn, I did that. I did that. I was that guy. I still am that guy. You know what I said? And
yes.
Like I say, sometimes, like I don't know how to explain it, but I can just say that God have a way for us nudge you sometime when you go off course, and just juke in your side and be like, oh, and remind you who you are, and it comes in different ways and different forms,
Yeah. I'm gonna
sometimes
give you. I'm gonna
my
give you.
kids play a big part of that too, because my kids them have this competition. Both, especially my son,
Mhm.
them have this swag competition with me now. Because some of I try keep up because they keep telling me that them have the swag now, and I'm like, boy, you got it from me. I will, yeah. And so it comes in the forms of my kids sometimes, or sometimes just a random stranger would just out of the blues um, remind me of some good I did for them a couple of years ago, or whatever it's, it's just some different ways and different forms.
Mhm. Well, I
So
will tell you that I'm going to give you your flowers because, you definitely helped shape the 90s. Even with the two giants blocking the entranceway to the road, you still managed to break in. And I mean, my ex, big up to the ex, big up to, the ex on the outside. Made sure that I learned the lyrics to your songs. Like it was a serious, like you
you better can
can't,
cook.
you better can cook. And
Even
even like it took pleasure in taking out the nail clippers to be like, hey,
till
clip,
this
clip,
day,
tall fingernails, take a trip,
till this day, the 26th of March,
Yeah.
2026, it doesn't matter where I go. There's always somebody to send me some story about cook. It's always some girl telling me like, "Yo, you met my boyfriend. Now your my boyfriend teach me how to cook. Cause
Yep.
of your song, your song make or it's some boy like yo, my girlfriend. Me always have to play the song for my girlfriend, cause she
Hmm.
can't cook and you make she can't cook now. And it's like, and I'm telling you, like everywhere, a
Yep.
different age group, young, older, middle age. You know what I'm saying? Different culture, people from different. Yo, it's crazy.
Love
It's crazy.
it.
Never did I didn't even know that when I was doing that song that it would make such an impact. It would have made such an impact, and I'm glad it did.
Yeah.
One time I was going through the airport and I ran into Morgan Heritage, them Gramps,
Oh,
them, and
yes.
we were standing there having a conversation, and I remember this lady came up to me and she was like, I have a son and he's autistic. And the only way I can get him to take his medicine is just I play your song, that full 100 song. And I have
Wow.
to play it every single time I'm giving him his. And it's just, and I was like, wait, what? And I
Wow.
remember, I remember calling Gramps. I said, hey, Gramps, come here. Because if me alone hear this, people not going to believe you. You got to stand up and hear this. And she repeated again. And I was like, I got to make somebody else hear it because I don't want people feel like I lie me, I tell you. And
Hmm.
it's just things like that. It's just things like that that get, just, let me be like, yo, you know what? Why are you depressed, boy? Your
Yeah,
job is not
don't
done yet.
be.
Your job is not done yet. You still, it is. There's got to be a reason why you're still relevant. There's got to
Yeah.
be a reason why your songs are still relevant after so long. There's got to be, what I'm saying. So I guess my job is not done
No,
yet.
definitely not. Your job is definitely not done. Talking about your job not being done, you've gone through the eras, the lessons, the shifts. Um, and what I love about this conversation is that you're not talking like someone who's looking back. You're actually talking like someone who's like, all right, these are the things that I've learned and these are the things I've gone through and I'm still here, and
Yeah.
I still got things to do. I've still got work to do.
Crazy. I'm
So
coming from Toronto, and oh, by the way, say that the same
Shelly
runway
Ann?
where the plane run into the fire truck.
Yeah.
I just landed on that runway like an hour and a half because coming from Toronto too. Like an hour and a half before it happened, I was like,
Oh my
damn.
God.
I but just left the airport when that happened. Just
That's
landed on that
crazy.
same runway. That's crazy. But yeah, I was in Toronto, and the show I did in Toronto, yo, like the tickets sold out like 3 days before
Yep.
the event.
Yep.
And when I was at the event, and I was just looking at the crowd, and there was just no more space. Like, and there's absolutely no more space at the venue, and there was so much of my friend them outside couldn't come in, and I was like,
Really?
wow, that's crazy. And then before that, I was in Costa Rica a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks before that, and it was just the same thing. It was just like the line gone. Like when I'm leaving sound check, there was already a line outside gone. I'm like, wow, So like these are the things that really make me still do what I do for real.
I love
These are the
that.
things that really put a smile on my face, yo. My next stop is I'm going to England now, and then after England, I'm going back to South America, where
Wow.
I'll do Colombia, Panama, Chile, and Costa Rica again. Because after the Costa Rica show, they was like, "Yo, you got to come do this one more time." So I got back the next day again in Costa Rica. So I'm gonna do that again, and then I come back to America. But yeah, it's just stuff like that that made me still do what I'm doing for real.
Does it surprise you having that type of presence in South America, like in Costa Rica and those places?
I've always no, you know what? Throughout my career, though, I've always have a huge following in South America, and I'm one
Mm,
of the, if not the only artist who have done this. You know, when you bust a Jamaica, it take a minute for your bus in other places in
yeah.
other diaspora.
Hmm.
I am the one Jamaican artist who bust in Jamaica, North America, South America, Europe, and Asia one time. One time. So it was really crazy for me. It was really like as soon as me done one diaspora, I'm in the next diaspora, and that
Wow.
took a while. You know what I say? So that was kind of dope. So I've always had a huge following in South America. You have to be either one Shaggy or Sean Paul to talk to me around the side. Cartel run a
Wow.
you know. But like it's dope. It is so dope because when we on stage, the people them a sing my song them line
Yeah.
word for word, and then when them come backstage for autograph, nobody speaks English. That's always weird to me. Like, damn. But then they sing the song. You know what I say?
Yeah.
Them teeth.
Oh, internet. What happened? Uh-oh. What happened? Oh no. Okay, he's frozen. Let's see. All right, people. Hold on. I mean, I get to fight tonight, it looks like, but we're not make them win. Uh-oh. Let's see. Okay, people, I think I'm going to go into, well, what am I going to do? What happened? All right, people, I'm going to go into a song, I think. We've lost him. Oh, he's stuck on my thing. Hold on. Wait, what's going on here? Oh no. Gosh. Okay, here he is. He's back. All right, people, we're going to try that again. Hold on. All right.
I
Can
have
you hear me?
absolutely no idea what happened.
I don't know what happened either. You just froze. I was like, wait a minute. It's okay. We'll keep going. Do you think they understand the lyrics? Like, do you think they understand what they're saying?
No, I think they like the beat. They do
Mm,
learn the lyrics though.
yeah.
Because if you hear the lyrics continuously, no matter if whether Spanish or French, you're gonna learn the lyrics if you continuously hear it all the time on the radio. But I think it's more like the beat that they're like, is when the
Mhm.
beat drop, everybody get busy. So I think
Yeah,
it's more like the beat.
I get it. I get it. How do you show up differently now for work versus 20 years ago?
I don't.
Ooh, I love it.
I'm still me.
Love
I'm
it.
still me. I still um what I do though is like what I make sure is I try to understand the audience that I'm about to perform for.
Hmm.
And so if let's say I'm in Toronto, the
Hmm.
day when Milano Toronto, the people them who did it like, the youth them were more familiar with the circles and the scenes and the party scenes,
Hmm.
all ask them, yo, which song, me I said, tell me which song is the big
It's
set
hot
over here.
here.
Yeah, which song them like more, which song, I say which song get played more, whatever, what they like, what's the slang, what going on over here. And so I get in tune to what's happening. and then I incorporate that in my set.
Oh, I love that. That's smart.
And then I just incorporate that in my set.
Because then you'll definitely get the crowd like in your corner. I mean, you already have them in your corner, but now they're like, when can I buy you a drink? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So looking into the present day, you know, projects and such, your new track Slow Mo, it feels like there's like a different type of confidence in that record and like a level of maturity, in a sense, and a control. What space were you in when you made that one? When you made that song?
Because I'm tired of going into the parties and the girl in over here dance and the man in over here dance. You know, and you know everything go around in a circle, you know, so everything of them time. And I think it's time. I think that segment of the party has come, you know, it like, you know, I think we need to change that now. We need to have the girl in my dance with the guys then back in the party again. And I was like, no artist not do that. So I was like, you know, what if I could make a song that would actually make the guys want to dance with the girl again, or make the girls want to dance with the guy again. So that's how I came about with that. And you know, what's more sexy than dancing slow on your partner? You know,
and what I really loved about it is, like, you know, the first line of the song, she said, "Cool and deadly, what you know about that?" You know,
what you know about that?
what you know about that, and bringing that old school, like paying homage to Cool and Deadly, you know, because that's a very specific reference. People, if you don't know, you need to look up Cool and Deadly and understand what that is about.
That's
you know,
really sexy dance.
sexy dance.
Slow, you know, you and your partner do it. And I don't know if this generation know much about that. So I had to really bring back that for real.
How important was it for you to make sure that they know about the Cool and Deadly and they know about the past, you know, sexy, well, you know, rent-a-tile dancing and stuff?
Yeah, so I couldn't just boom drop slow mo on them. I had to, you know, like, you know, bring it back, get them back a nostalgic thing, you know, bring it back like so they could understand where it's coming from. And just drop it on them. So and like just like you know, if somebody hear it and be like, they're gonna be like, yo, what is Cool and Deadly? And so now, you know, people of our age group gonna be like, yo, well, it was it was like the lambada. It was like it was a really slow and sexy dance that we used to do when you were a baby and stuff. And you know, that changes when phone generation come and decides that we don't want over this and the money over this. So, but we're about to bring it back.
Okay, so I'll just, you know. And then if we're talking about present day projects, you have the new joint with Kid Capri, and that's like a big link up.
Yo, that is so dope. Like, I'm still amazed that I have a song with Kid Capri.
I'm amazed that you're amazed that you have a song with Kid Capri.
You know, because I know how big of a deal that is. Yeah. This generation probably don't know. They probably just think that we're just two old guys doing a song together. But for me, it's an honor, you know, knowing who he is and, you know, knowing his track record and his work. You know, so to be able to be on his album and everything, that was dope. When I got the phone call today, and he was like, yo, Lexx. And I was like, yo, who this? He was like, Kid Capri. And then I paused. And I was like, no way, I only know one Kid Capri. I said, yo, that's me. And I'm not like, fuck this. Let me see you on video. So I turned the call into a video because it was audio call at first. I was like, nah, fuck this. Ain't you know anybody? You're not fucking with me today. So I video the call, and he was really in. He was like, yo, I'm doing an album, and I need you on my album. I need you. I was like, fuck yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, so we did the track. He sent the track to me. I was in Jamaica at the time.
Yeah.
And he sent the track to me, and I did it. And, you know, when I got to New York, like a little bit after that, we shot the video. And, you know, it's God's timing, because now that I'm actually picking up a buzz, you know, I'm actually in the algorithm now, and he decided to drop the video right now. It's like, yes, Lord. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a good look. That's a really good look.
Yes.
It's
the poke in the side, right?
I've told you about that, yo.
It's the poke in the side.
Way to poke you in the side. Really, yo.
What did it pull out of you creatively? Because, like, I mean, okay, so I'm gonna be transparent. Like, when I was like, hey, can you be on the podcast? And you were like, let's do it. I completely fangirled out, geeked out, like lost my mind, threw my phone across the room type of thing. It was like this. somebody's playing with me, right? So how did you pull it together and like be like, all right, we got a job to do here. Let's run this track. Like, what was your process like to do that?
Like I said, first of all, the whole fact that he reached out to me. I'm like, I didn't even know he knew I exist. So just the whole fact that he reached out to me and be like, yo, you know, that was mind blowing for me. That was freaking mind blowing. But what like it's like nothing works without a plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. Nothing works without a plan. And so when I did that, I you know that's his album and that's his project. But me, I had my own thing planned. Like, yo, you know what? I think it's time for me to take back my stuff on the road. You know, try to. I've always been social media savvy because I was one of the first dancehall artists from my era who, you know, got so savvy with the internet like that. And I was like, yo, you know what? Let me just press gas right now and put some things together. So when you called me about the interview, it was it's God poking me again because I was like, yo, I need to do as much podcast as possible in a certain time, and you just fall right in place. And you know what I'm saying? You was one of them, and I was like, it doesn't even matter if you have 2 listener or 3 listener or 3,000 listener or 300,000 listener. I didn't care about that. I just know that put in the work, and then you'll get the results. And so when you hit me, I didn't have to think twice. It was like, yo, yeah, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And then a few other people, there were other people who reach out to me, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that right now. Let me get back at you.
Yeah.
But like I told you, I'm more of a spiritual person. And so, you know, my spirit be like, yo, do this. Let's do this. So
I
it wasn't,
appreciate that.
it was just more like, it was more of a spiritual thing. And, you know, everything just fall in place slowly, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do a bunch of podcasts, you know, get back a lot of other people out there, you know, get some of your audience to see me, hear me, get some other, you know, so the more I do, you know, so it's just a whole bunch of work that like you fall in place. Like, you hit me up at the right time.
I'm so happy. And I mean, I had to psych myself up. I had to just girl, just shoot your shot. Just shoot your shot. It's all good. The worst he can say is no. And then you just keep it moving, right? But honestly, like, I have to tell you, like, audience, I have to say, you know, for someone as big as you were so kind and gracious throughout the whole process. Like, if you said, Ange, I'm going to call you, you know, you called. And if you called late, you were like, I apologize. I was doing this or I was doing that. And that is huge because you don't know how people they look at you, or like for me, in my experience, like they've looked at me like, oh, she's not really that big. I don't really need to treat her with respect. You know, I'm gonna tell her I'm coming in. I'm not gonna show up. You know, things like that. So
you know what, Angie, and this is the reason why I think that this is the reason why I still get the respect from people till this day, because, you know, even when I was the man in a dancehall, I've never shoved my weight around. I've never, you know what I'm saying, and I've always think that, you know, treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, if I want you to respect me, then I'm gonna treat you with some respect. 'Cause I know how I am. I could be very disrespectful, respectfully.
Politely tell somebody to fuck off. Yep.
So I give my respect first. You know, I give my respect first, and, you know, I want you to respect me, so I'm gonna give you my respect first. And I just live my life like that. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, I respect you, you respect me, and then we good. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do, because at the end of the day, a blood run through me and you, and you know, at the end of the day, we cry tears and we feel pain and we get sick. You know what I'm saying? We get hungry, and, you know what I'm saying? I'm just fortunate to be famous. You know what I'm saying? Because my career choice, I chose to do. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. So it has never been, at no point it has, oh, yo, me Lexxus. Like, I go to the party, I got some party, and if I'm not on the bill, I'm okay with pay going. I don't be going to people's party, man, like, yo, I'm in Lexxus, let me in. No. Not about that. If me go and they recognize me, fine. Because, you know, oftentimes me go to get and be like, oh, yo, Lexxus, and they recognize me, and, you know, they let me through. But if it, at any point, they're like, any form of stoppage or anything. Nah, I'm gotta get my ticket, pay for a ticket to go in and just like any normal person, because I'm not about that throwing my weight around thing, and it could be it can be embarrassing sometimes. And you, as a Taurus, I know we are we easily embarrassed. We get
Very too easily. We'd be like, oh God,
easily. That's like, oh my
if we
God.
go hide in a corner, no, like
Yeah. So I have no qualms. I have no problems with paying and going on a party if I'm not on the bill. What I said. So I live my life like that. Like I said, I give you all the respect and just the respect that I want back. You know what I said.
Big up to Mama Goodaz, who jumped in and said he sounds like a humble person. Yes, mommy, he's humble. So, and coming from my mom, that's big, And mommy, I'd like to apologize for the F-bomb I dropped earlier. I apologize for that. I didn't realize you were here. You didn't say hi. So I did think some can broke out a little, So sorry.
Shout out to mom.
I that whole paying to get in thing, I have the same mentality, and people tend to look at me like I'm crazy. I've dated guys who were throwing parties and it's pay to get in, and I'm like, if I buy a ticket, that means everybody got to buy a ticket, because if I'm your woman and I'm buying a ticket to get in, then people shouldn't be coming to you and saying, hey, let me in for free type of thing. But it wasn't even like based on that principle. It was just, I'm gonna pay to get in. It's fine.
So when time I keep my party them, I'm giving my friend them a ticket, and I'm gonna give them no free pass. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving no. You come buy a ticket from me.
Yeah,
because that's what friends are for. You're supposed to buy my ticket. Me, have friend. Oh, you're going to the people in party where you don't know.
Talk it.
You pay for going to party them where you don't know. Pay your ass gonna pay to come to my party. Because what? At the end of the day, they're gonna see me back the next day. I'm gonna give them back the money anyway. They're gonna get the money back from me anyway. So one way or another, they're gonna get the money back from me. You know what I say? Because I'm that type of guy. Because we're gonna go out. I'm gonna take care of the liquor. I'm gonna take care of the drink. I'm gonna take care of the food. I'm gonna take care of everything. You know what I say? So you're gonna get back the money one way or another. So your ass gonna pay to come into my party.
Yep.
For real.
What do you say? One hand washes the other. Oh, you mean?
For real.
I mean, I'm just saying, right? Just saying. I have to say thank you so much for this, Lexxus. Like, you've been my biggest artist so far on the podcast, and I just want to say I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you for like your honesty, the humor, history.
I'm gonna interview. I'll call you right back. Thanks for having me, though. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Listen, you're welcome to come back anytime. Just be like, Angie, I got something I want to talk about.
Okay,
we'll make it work.
EP, because I'm about to drop an EP.
Are you?
I'm trying to drop it for my birthday, so we finalizing everything right now. So when time the promo come out, I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna put you on my calling list. So your podcast, one of the podcasts that I'm gonna come promote it from.
Hold on. So do you want to we could lock it in for the birthday week, because our birthday is that week. You want to do that?
So we could talk after that. We could.
We'll talk and figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out after that.
I got to give you a horn for that. I have to.
Yeah.
But seriously, big up yourself. Thank you for joining the big conversation. Thank you for making the process. Why I'm at the feel like someone can't talk to anybody. No,
Of course you can.
Come chat to me. Come chat to me. Yeah, I appreciate it, for real. So, as you continue on in your journey, we'll talk again. You'll be back again. But honestly, as you continue on in your journey, blessings to you. And listen, you have somebody, so don't let depression hit you, because that you're gonna need it. That's not necessary.
No,
not necessary.
I want to say to, all our listeners, all my social media handles are The Real Mr. Lexx. That's TheRealMrLexx, The Real Mr. Lexx. And it doesn't matter where you on, what platform you're on, it's The Real Mr. Lexx. Go, massive. And I'm really humorous, because I know I say funny, because the new generation, I know they're like, why?
They'll be like, fire for that, or why for that?
Very humorous. I think, I'm pretty sure I could make you smile.
Yep.
And shout out to I just did a movie the other day, my first official movie that I'm in. That's dope, because people always say I can't act on them sitting in. And the other day my friends were going to this casting call, and I decided to go with them
Wow.
just for the fun of it. You know, just
Really?
when I got the script, went in there, did my thing, and I got the role. I got the role, and that was dope. I'm really excited about that. So the movie name Blood Money, y'all can look out for that.
Blood
That's
money.
sometime done in summer. As soon as them start promo, I'll keep y'all posted. And that's gonna be dope. And my EP is coming out. I'm about to drop this EP now because God knows more. I try to go for that Grammy thing at one more time.
Yeah, why not?
Um,
What do you have a name for it? Like,
I've been
actually, not
playing
even
around-
that.
I've been
Not
playing
even
around-
that. What is the energy are you thinking of this EP?
I'm just being me on the EP. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being me. So hopefully y'all like it. I'm just being me. There's something for everybody. Something for the gal them, something for the tug them, something for the adult people, something for the youngins. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all like it. But I put my heart in this one though, so I hope y'all like it.
I feel like you put your heart in everything you do, though. Let's be for real. You
For the
do.
for the most part. To be honest, for the most part.
Big up Bree-Cash. Bree-Cash says, great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a
Thank you.
pleasure. I know we could keep going forever, but I'm gonna let you go, as I know you're a busy man. So
Yes, I can't go back to my food.
you can go back to your food. Look how you left your food for me. I appreciate that. I know you're not a foodie, but that to me, that's huge. That's huge.
Thanks for having me though again. Big up yourself and keep in touch.
Yes, definitely. You have the link, so whenever.
All right, we will. All right, we
All
will.
right. Likkle more
Later.
Yes, people, that was the one and only Lexxus, Mr. Lexx, in the building. Big and serious style. You see me? Yeah. Yeah, so it we. What time is it? 9:42. So we got a few minutes. I gotta marinate for a minute, people. I gotta marinate in that. That was really cool. Yeah. So we're going to take everything that we just heard, from someone whose contributions to dancehall wasn't just about the rhythm or the lyrics. You heard him. It was about I'm me and here I am, right? It was about the storytelling, the character, and the person intertwined. Chris and Lexxus just intertwined, the timing and just being truthful. And it's amazing that in that height, and being misunderstood as he was in the height of it, feeling like, wow, and not even understanding or knowing that, hey, man, you're so, 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 so important, So, wait, did he come back by accident? Are you back by accident or you want to come back? Do you want to come back? Thumbs up if you want to come back. I see you've come back. Okay, he's gone. I think it was a mistake. Yeah, so huge conversation. People, if you missed that conversation, if you missed it, you came in late, or you want to just marinate it from the beginning, you're going to go over to Big. You know what? Let me, instead of telling you, I'm going to show you, but also for my Spotify listeners tomorrow, I'm going to tell you as well. But you're going to go to Big ND Serious Pod, at Big and Serious Pod on YouTube. Click on the live tab. You'll see all of the episodes, the past episodes of the Big and Serious podcast there. You can also catch it on, you'll be able to catch this week's episode when it ends on Twitch. Big up to all the people watching on Twitch right now. You'll be able to catch it there as well. It'll be up all week until the next episode. Where else? Well, boy, we get kicked off of TikTok. We get kicked off of YouTube. I mean, not YouTube. Sorry. No, we did not. We never get kicked off of YouTube, but we got kicked off of Instagram. I saw it go sometimes. Too bad for them. Not stress out. If you have a business or an item that you want us to feature during the Big Up, you're going to send an email to bns at angiegoodaz.com. And of course, here on the Big and Serious podcast, there's always music, conversation, and a Likkle Trouble every time. Big up yourself, M. Lewis. Oh my gosh, that's a name I remember from the past podcast days. The podcast I used to be when I was on the People Them podcast. Big up yourself. You need to come on the podcast. Send me a message. You need to come on the podcast. All right. So we've been talking about everything about evolution, persona, performance, and the person behind it. So I want us to widen the lens just for a little bit because, we got to do the big feature. We must do the big feature. All right. So in the big feature, hold on. Let me take this. I don't want this thing to compete with my screen. So let's just get rid of that. All right. So this week, we are shining the spotlight on someone who didn't just contribute to dancehall. He carved out an entire lane. A man whose timing and storytelling shaped the way Jamaicans understand humor, performance, and everyday life. Someone who could just take the smallest moment, like being on a bus, a misunderstanding, or a neighbor, or a street corner interaction, and turn it into a full theatrical experience. Today's big feature is all about Professor Nuts. Now, if you grew up on dancehall, you already know there's funny and then there's nuts. And he wasn't just cracking jokes. He was documenting the culture. And let me give you a little quick anecdote. I met him at a show. I was backstage at a show and I met him and we had a conversation. And right after that conversation, this man went on the stage and created a whole song about me. And said my name and everything. Angela. Yeah, he did. So, he was documenting the culture and he's still doing it to this day. He's narrating the everyday, just the things that we go through, the things that we experience. And he's giving voice to the characters we all knew. The men who always had a story, the women who always had something to say, and the friend who always found themselves in some little mix-up. And what made him special wasn't just the comedy. It was actually the precision, the timing, the performance, the way he could shift from character to character without losing the thread, and the way he could make you laugh and think at the same time. Professor Nuts was and still is a master of the craft. But here's the thing. When we talk about dance hall, we often talk about rhythms. We talk about the clashes. We talk about the lyrics. We talk about the energy. We don't always talk about the storytellers. For some reason, we forget about the storytellers and we forget about the narrators and we forget about the cultural archivists, those people who go into the archives and they actually create archives for us to refer to later on. The people who captured the rhythm of Jamaican life in a way that was sharp, funny, and deeply observant. And that's exactly what Professor Nuts did. He wasn't just performing, he was preserving. He was holding on to the language, the expressions, the characters, the contradictions that made Jamaican life the way it is. He was showing us ourselves, but through a lens that made the truth easier to swallow. And because of that, because of the humor, it lets you say the hard things without the room getting heavy. So, you could say something really tough and it would land lightly because of the humor that was attached to it. It lets you point out the flaws without the person feeling attacked. It lets you highlight the culture without preaching. And Professor Nuts understood that better than anyone. And when you listen back to his catalog, the stories, the characters, the punchlines, you realize that he wasn't just entertaining us. He was teaching us. And he was reminding us of who we are. And he was showing us the beauty and the madness of everyday Jamaican life. And you know what? He did it with such ease, such confidence, such command of the stage that it was just ridiculous. It was like art, it was just watching art. And here's the truth. To do what Professor Nuts did, you need to actually have more than just humor. Like you can't just be walking around as a What did Lexxus say? As a humorous guy or a humorous person, you need observation. You actually need to observe the people. You actually need, kissing my microphone. You actually need the timing, and you need the courage, and you need the ability to hold a room, shift a mood, and guide people through a story without losing them. And that's not just talent, that's actually craft. And in a moment, we're going to take, we're taught in a moment where we're talking about performance versus personal. Professor Nuts is the perfect example of someone who used performance to actually reveal the personal. He showed us the contradictions, the struggles, the humor, the humanity in everyday Jamaican life. And he made the ordinary feel epic. He made the messy feel familiar. And he made the culture feel seen. And I think that's why his work still resonates today. Because in a world moving fast, where everything is about the quick clip and the quick laugh and the quick moment, Professor Nuts reminds us that craft matters. Storytelling matters. Perspective matters. Timing matters. And he wasn't chasing trends. He was building legacy. And when you look back now and you hear the layers, you hear the social commentary, you hear the intelligence behind the humor, you hear a man who understood the people deeply and used that understanding to create something timeless. So today we honor the man, the mind, the master of comedic storytelling in dancehall, Professor Nuts. A reminder that performance, when done with intention, can reveal truth, not hide it. Let's keep the energy moving. I'm going to give him a sexy horn, though. So you know what? Let's just pause. Let's just pause for a moment. I need to pause for a second. All right. That's the kind of legacy that you have to pause for. This whole show has just been the kind of legacy that you have to pause for. Because when you talk about someone like Professor Nuts, the timing, the characters, the storytelling, the cultural memory, and, you're reminded that this music thing is bigger than rhythms and charts. It's history, it's lineage, it's people who shape the way we see ourselves. So we're going to hold that for a moment. We're going to hold on to that respect. We're going to hold on to that laughter, that recognition of craft. And we're going to shift into a different kind of space, because around here on the Big and Serious podcast, we don't just talk about the culture, we play it. And, that conversation with Lexxus just makes it even more necessary. So it is time for the part of the show where the needle drops, the room settles, and we let the music do the talking. It's time for the vinyl ritual. I should actually do this. I like that better. Yeah. So we're about to drop the needle on this week's vinyl ritual. And you already know how we do. It's slow, it's intentional, and it's with a Likkle style. Because, we have to bring a Likkle Trouble in the mix every time. So this is the part of the show where we listen to the music and the stories, the personas, and the performances. All of it just glide together. So I'm going to put the needle down, and we're going to keep going. Hold on a second. Let me get to it. All right. So the needle's down, the wax is warm, and the glide is unstoppable. So we're going to step into it. Let's go. So we're starting off today. Well, we actually already ran slow-mo, but I'm gonna run it again for those that didn't get to hear it. So this first track is slow-mo, and this is Lexxus's latest song. We'll just play a little piece of it because we already played it earlier. And this is where he pays homage to Cool and Deadly. Well, about that.
Our response to the girl. You know what style for me to get them bust while. Lexxus.
She said cool and deadly when me know about that. Catch up on the phone and give me the tough chat. So she push it down and so me push it up back. Girl a whine in a slow mo, yo, whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go. You know she out fi go pro. Just slow mo, yo, whoa. She tip on her toe like a go-go, but she waist it a yo-yo. Oh, she a wine so slow it's like she not move. Mama lock me down it's like me can't move. Big old man thing, I mean I want move. Got the wine you have me at the right groove. Don't be sick when get the bubble up in on the place. DJ chat, bumbo clock bass, get the wine them ways and make out them fix. Tell the waitress fi make it scar. Be at the lembo back up and back up. Be at the lembo, be at that mother. Dog up packet them label.
We're gonna fly through this, so you can hear the confidence. You know, the performer, the persona, the man who knows exactly what he's doing. And, you know, we're going to stay in that Lexxus world for a moment. We're going to keep going in the Lexxus world for just a moment.
She tip on her toe like a go-go, but she waist it a yo-yo. Oh, it's just a whining thing. Wine in the winter, wine in the spring. Hey. This is my body you a bring, and you're not falling off in. Hear me, Kim. I know but me a fling. Them only a bling, them don't worth a thing. Top in the middle, show you what anything. Show them how you make the boy head spin. Hold up. She said cool and deadly when me know about that.
All right, so now as we shift into the storytelling lane, I want to touch on one more piece of Lexxus's world. We did play a bunch in the beginning. The performance, the charisma, the showmanship. And when you pair him with Kid Capri, that's a whole different kind of stage. You know, this one is pure presence, pure command, pure watch me work. Here is Pon Me.
Yes! Wicked! It's your boys. Kid Capri. I'm Miss Alex. Hey girl, come look up on me. Suck up but don't get sick up on me. You like pull chick up on me. Come on, move quick up on me.
Look at the queen girl sitting nicely with the boom boom fat while she switching nicely. Tall glass with the long straw sipping iced tea as it's dripping down her mouth, colorful as I see. Diamond ring and the diamond watch looking pricey while her goons all around looking mean and shiesty. And I won't let her know that she doing entice me. Give me hard every time she start moving feisty. So I gotta let her know to
come lick up on me.
Yeah.
Suck up but don't get sick up on me. You like pull chick up on me. Come on, move quick up on me.
Come lick upon me. Suck off but don't get sick upon me. You like pull trick upon me. So go on, move quick upon me.
From the first time me book her, tell me say your boyfriend is a bait and him a duck her. And me couple diamond, couple blings and couple things. She thinks that you should spend her money for me, I go fuck her. Honestly speaking though, her body fleeking though.
So that's the thing about performers. You know, there's the performance, there's the character, the humor, the storytelling. And we talk about storytelling, we have to honor one of the greats. So we're going to honor the original observer of human behavior. And you know, this song I used to sing this song word for word when I was younger. This always makes me smile. This is Inna the Bus.
My God, Lord have mercy. Why I can't take it no more? Me say, Bishop, inna the bus, inna the bus, inna the bus, them a kick up round post, yes. Inna the bus, inna the bus, them a fight and a fuss. Me hear one stop driver, left me back. Oh, Miss Adi, your arm smell bad. Hey, little boy, they inna the blue tag. Take your foot off of me can before me get mad. Now the doctor, they come down with the money back. I shout fierce, please, till him total tired. Here a gal ball, only 10 set me up. Here a man up at the front, you know me just get wrapped. The doctor say, what? The minibus stop. The doctor hold them man and give the man couple slap. Fling him out of the bus, drop him on him neck back. Everybody find bus fear quick off of that way. Inna the bus, inna the bus, inna the bus, them a kick up rumpus, yes. Inna the bus, inna the bus, inna the bus, them a fight and a fuss. Me take a minivan round 9 o'clock. Me check one of me girlfriend well if I can cut. When me go inna the bus, me say Lord me feel hot. Inna the bus bad, but the way the minibus pack. Me hear a girl ball out, Lord what that. You know she see a chink pan a man shot back. She run go take it off. The man say put it back. Who no want everything, who no say black man got where? Inna the bus, inna the bus, inna the bus, them a kick up rumpus, yes. Inna the bus, inna the bus, inna the bus, them a fight and a fuss. When I was a little youth in 1971, I never used to know about no transit van, no big quarter bus nor no quarter million. I just in a way they then come in a action. The bus and when me know was Pen Overland. Now of them they the Sun Enterprise Mark van. Me know Jolly Bus, me know Jolly John, and some little short one we used to call Patty Pan. Them the time the bus fear dead cheap like a sham. 2 cents for liquor boy, 10 cents for man. Old people never fret when they bus them ram. Man get up out a seat and the old no man. But the nowadays you them get out of hand. About old people them don't care a damn dust. Got your eye in a any minivan. It look like say old people trying walk at and for me one teeth and she turn up like she drunk. They rock 2 side like a fat man old van. True she can't take the vibes and the sensation. Every pretty van to teach up on a young man where inna the bus. Inna the bus, inna the bus, them a kick up rumpus, yes. Inna the bus, inna the bus, inna the bus, them a fight and a fuss. Me hear one stop driver left me bag. Oh, Mr. D, your arm smell bad. Hey, little boy, they inna the blue tag. Take your foot off of me can before me get mad. Then the doctor they come down with the money bag. I shout fierce please, till him throat will tired. You're a girl ball out only 10 cents me up.
So you hear how Professor Nuts just paints the whole scene? That's performance too, and that's everyday theater of life. But sometimes the performance isn't wild or chaotic. Sometimes it's confidence. Sometimes it's the persona you put on because the world expects you to be larger than life. Kiprich knows that lane well. He can step into that big man energy, the bravado, the swagger, the character, and still keep it sharp, witty, and intentional. This one is pure persona. This one is pure performance. Pure, watch me become who you think I am. Here is that man, Kiprich. Let's go.
That man will chop it like a coconut man. That man where everybody class as fat man. That man will beat you to goes like Batman. You know you will say quack man. Alright that man. That man will never yet sit down and a chat man. That man will good man will say them a hot man. Man will say them a hot man. Them always got man. You know you will say quack man. Alright that man. Now no hate for anybody you carry to that man. If you step on your toe tell him sorry to that man. And if you no reply do not carry to that man. Me have you one that hey marry to that man. In society nobody can face that man. The body feel a toe now trace that man. Adams and the crew now face that man. Who's to send him don't make him waste. Hey ya 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 every man, you know no man no better than no man. From a chuck it, you might run up in a mother man. With them head gone, holler like a fan, scatter like a sand. Teach you make you flatter like a ram. Try alone, never ever follow man. Yes, you watch, you better come with another plan. Never judge a book by the look, by the hook, by the crook. You might end up 6 feet on the land. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
So you hear that? That's persona at work. The character, the performance, the confidence, all turned up just enough to make you lean in. And that's the thing, when you play that role long enough, people just start to think that's who you are all the time. But it's not. It's just a layer. It's a mask. It's a moment. So, before we close out tonight's ritual, I want to give you a taste of next week's big conversation. Here is a teaser from next week's guest.
Yes. This is natural, and I'm back. That's natural fact. To all the people who are talking, we don't watch that. Get style. Wow. Who said the legend about your ball? Wow. See me name on the boat and me ball. Wow. No hear myself on the radio, me ball. Wow. No see myself on the video. Me say what DJ sit down with it, them and did a chat. But like that they have a release me done dead stop. Me in a New York, me da work some cash. I in a Canada, me da work some cash. I in a Cayman, me da work some cash. And down in England, me da work some cash. I in America, me da work some cash. Was going to Japan, but me turn back. The journey too far, and me free the plane, crash the ball. Wow! Who said the legend about the ball? Wow! No hear myself on the radio, me ball. Wow! No see myself on the boat, and me ball. Wow! No see me name in a cleaner. Cause reggae music, it shines so bright. Every entertainer should have all unite. Reggae music, it shining so bright. Every entertainer should have all unite. They come back, yes, they come back, they come back, they come back. So all of the people with us sit down and a chat. But the lecturer, the foreign, yes, I don't stop. Me in a New York, me da work some cash. And down in Canada, me da work some cash. So in a England, me da work some cash. And over America, me
Yes, that's right. So a lecturer is going to return to the big conversation next week. Yo, he has a lot to say. He's so excited. I'm excited. He as usual, he comes with some new music. So we're going to run some new music next week with him as well. And we're going to have some deep conversation. But we got to close out this show. You know what I'm saying? We got to close out this show. And, you know, if you know me, you know that we like to do things slow and steady. So we're going to let this one breathe for a moment. If you don't know, this is your Stagalag. Sly and Robbie. As we pay homage to them, we close out every show season 2 with the Stagalag. So just don't rush it, you know? I know you got to get to bed, you got to do all the things, but we're going to let this one breathe for a moment, all right? The needle is down, the wax is warm, and the glide, unstoppable. So, wherever you are, whether you're standing in your kitchen, whether you're driving, whether you're curled up on your couch, I want you to just take a little moment for yourself. So we're going to roll the shoulders back, unclench your jaw, and let's take a breath together. You ready? Let's breathe in. And out. This is your Stagalag, your pause, your reset, your reminder that you're allowed to slow down. Slow down, baby. Slow down. Even for a few seconds. We're still here. We're still present. And we're still gliding. So that's the energy of today. There's something about ending the night with the vinyl ritual that just resets the whole system. You know, the needles dropped, the rhythm breathes, and suddenly everything feels a little cleaner, a little clearer, a little lighter, a little more connected. So as the music continues on, we gather ourselves. I'm going to close this one out properly, all right? I'm going to do my job properly. I see some comments. Let's see what the comments are. Yeah, we we're gonna slow it down. Big up Greek Hash on the inside, on the outside, you know. Still I wait for the money though. So I want to thank you for spending this time with me, with us here on the Big and Serious podcast. Big up to Lexxus for the amazing conversation. Go and, follow him, the real Mr. Lexx, on all platforms. Remember, next week we got Lecturer in the building. And, tonight was one of those episodes that reminds you why conversation matters and why storytelling matters. Right? So I want to say big gratitude, enough love to you, wherever you are, for listening and being here and choosing to be here. Again, Lecturer returns next week. I want you to be good. I want you to be big and serious. Yeah, and do it properly. Listen, I'm Angie Goodaz, your hostess with the mostest. Good night.